Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why I think that legacy aim assist or legacy settings are going to be better than linear. I'm going to be giving you guys my reasons on which I think that legacy is going to be your best bet, especially here in Chapter 2 with all the updates and everything coming out. I think it's going to be the best bet, so if you guys want to hear my reasons why, definitely stay to the end of the video. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I'm going to be giving away 2,000 V-Bucks. And if you guys want a chance to enter this giveaway, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel, turn on my post notifications, and as well leave a comment down below of either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And you guys will be entered into the giveaway. So make sure you guys do enter if you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so real quick, I don't think linear aim assist or linear settings are necessarily really bad. I just don't feel like it's the best option here in Chapter 2. And I wanted to give you guys my specific reasons why I think the legacy is going to be better than linear. And I did play on linear for a good, I would say even like 4, maybe even 5 weeks. I did play on linear for quite a while, and I did like it for the most part. I didn't have too many complaints with it. Of course, the long range AR shots were not very good. For those guys who play on linear, hitting those long range assault rifle shots are extremely difficult, and I would say almost near impossible to hit consistently. So that was probably my only big concern. But as of recently, probably within the last couple weeks, I did feel like they made a really big change to linear aim assist, and I did feel like they did change sort of how the mechanics work on it. I'm not sure exactly how to explain it because I think that's right when they had no patch notes, so there really wasn't a clear example or a clear way for me to prove to you guys that they did change it. But after playing it for over 3.5 to 5 weeks, and just a couple days after like an update that came out, it just didn't feel the same. It felt like I don't know if necessarily they made it weaker or if they changed the mechanics on how it worked, but it really didn't feel the same whatsoever. And I played on it for 3 days and felt the exact same thing every day. And it could have just been a placebo. It could have just been me thinking that maybe they did change it when they really didn't, but it really didn't feel the same. And a lot of people that I've talked to also said the exact same thing. So that is probably one reason that led me to go end up changing back to legacy. Was I think they did end up changing the aim assist on it, and as you guys know, on linear, the aim assist for hipfire is going to be the strongest suit for that type of aim assist. Long range is really bad, but close range is extremely overpowered. And with legacy, it's kind of vice versa, where you have the long range super overpowered, mid range super overpowered, but close range hip fire is going to be the weakest point. But if you are barrel stuffing, if you are right in the other person's face, then it isn't going to be that much of a problem. You're still going to be able to hit a lot of your shots, so it's not really something too much to be concerned about. Now, of course, when it comes to the difference between legacy and linear, I do think that linear is going to be the best option for building and editing, but legacy isn't bad by any means. I just changed a few of my settings around, which I'm going to be able to show you guys in case you didn't see my other video. And I think it's really not bad at all. I think it's really playable, and I haven't really had too much difficulty at all when it comes to editing. And here I'm just free building. I'm not really putting together, that 50-second montage of me sitting in creative for 3 hours, getting the perfect clips. It's just me just free building, showing you guys just how it is on legacy, and it really isn't bad at all. I haven't had too many problems as far as missing edits in games from time to time. I think everyone has missed an edit, but it's not really a consistent missing edits or consistent drawback when I was on legacy, and I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. So as far as when I'm talking about the legacy, the hipfire really isn't that strong. As you can see, there's barely really anything at all. And there's really not much of a buff whatsoever when it comes to those hip fire shots. So you have to be very, very close if you want to hit hip fire shots consistently with legacy. You have to be very, very consistent in order to do so. But with linear, it is a massive slowdown, and that slowdown can honestly be sometimes even too much if you're depending on the angle that you're going at. But on the linear settings, it is very, very, very strong when it comes to those hip fire mechanics. And of course, as you guys know, with the legacy, the L2 rotation is very, very good when it comes to those long range shots and ADS, and even close range. If you ADS your shots, it is very strong. It auto rotates over to the player, and you're going to be able to hit a lot more shots much more consistently. So another thing that I wanted to be talking about, another reason why I switched, and that's going to be having to do with the Winter Royale that started coming out It depends on when you watch this video. If you're watching it today, then today's going to be day 3. I think the last day of the Winter Royale. But when it comes to these cash cups, these competitive plays, playing on linear just doesn't do justice. It's just not good enough, especially if you're on controller, because if you're going up against keyboard and mouse players, they're already better at building, they're already better at editing. You're not going to be able to compete. Of course, you can say, I'm kind of good at editing, you know what I mean? But it's just not the same. If you play on keyboard and mouse and are a better than average or very good keyboard and mouse player, you can edit and build 10 times better than any controller player that's even played the game before. And that's just how it is, because it's just so much easier mechanically for a lot of edits, and that's just kind of the way it is, and a big advantage of keyboard and mouse. But since you already don't have that advantage, of course, it is easier to build and edit on linear than it is on legacy, but you always want to have the biggest advantage possible, and with controller, having that L2 aim assist on legacy is the biggest advantage of controller players. It's the controller aim. Everyone complains about it, how it's too overpowered, which is just kind of comical, because the amount of keybinds and advantage that keyboard and mouse players have, it's just kind of comical that they complain about aim assist, but that really is the strongest point of aiming. So I would say that's the number one thing you have to focus on if you are a controller player, is focusing on your aim. So if you're on the linear settings, to focus on the close range. And like I said, I feel like they nerfed it, so that's kind of a big reason in which I switched. I feel like they nerfed the biggest advantage of controller players on linear. So I'm back on legacy. The aim assist is very, very good, especially when I'm in those late games, picking off players on rotations. It feels very strong, very accurate, and very effective when I am going for shots on people on rotation. So legacy has been proven to me to be very, very effective and very good. And they also made in a recent update, maybe a couple weeks ago, where they actually made it so you're building an editing sensitivity. If you wanted to, you can move it up all the way to 5. And for me, I have a very, very high editing sensitivity, but I do play in edit mode aim assist, so that kind of gives it a slowdown. And for me, I think it works very well. I haven't had too many issues with it, and here's just me editing a wall. And of course, when it comes to standing still and editing on controller, it's much more difficult, because on controller, you don't have the luxury of making very, very small movements and very accurate movements like you do on keyboard and mouse, which I'll show you guys in a second, me editing the same wall on keyboard and mouse versus a controller, and it's a complete world of a difference. And as you guys have probably seen me maybe once or twice on keyboard and mouse, I absolutely suck. I'm like, at building, I'm like half decent. I'm not like completely terrible. I'm not like Tim the Tatman. I don't like suck that bad, but I'm like alright. I'm like decent at the game. But I do feel like having a very high editing sensitivity and edit mode aim assist is going to be a very good meta for people on legacy. Some people obviously, watch a couple Face Wade videos and like, oh, you play an edit mode aim assist. It doesn't work. It's not good. Face Wade doesn't play on it. And those kids that, 9 years old that just D-ride face sway. Of course they're going to say that, but it really is a good move. Some people do like it, some people don't, but to say it's terrible and a horrible idea would just be an understatement. I feel like if you play on a very high editing sensitivity and throw in edit mode aim assist, I find it to be very useful and very effective in a lot of edits, like the top 3 edits for squares. Very effective. I can hit those very consistently, and there are a lot of edits that I do find extremely easy to do with edit mode aim assist and a high editing sensitivity that I haven't really been able to do as consistent on linear. So I feel like there is a give and take with it. Some edits might be a little bit more challenging, but some edits are a lot easier. Just really depends on exactly what you're looking for. But I do find it to be very useful in a lot of aspects. And another way to help if you do end up switching from linear to legacy is going to be your X and Y sensitivity. You want to make sure it's very consistent. And so I play on a 7470 or 7466, and when you hit the linear setting that you turn it on, when you go up, you can see the percentage on which you're at. So basically my sensitivity for my legacy settings is basically a 52% on linear, and the easiest way to check that is you basically just turn off the use legacy controls, and then you press copy from legacy, and once you do that, you just scroll up and you can see the percentage, your X and Y, and what it's at. I feel like you want to have it consistent. I feel like that's a very good way to switch from linear to legacy. So the sensitivity that I have when I hit apply to when I hit the use legacy, whatever it's called, once I hit that, it'll come up to a 52% on both. So it's going to be as consistent as possible. Of course, you're going to have the slowdown a little bit, and then you have the little bit of boost you have on the legacy controls, but it is going to be as consistent as possible, so it's not too hard to get used to, and I do like it the way it is. And real quick, before I wrap it up, when I was talking about the edit mode aim assist and editing on controller, you're only going to be able to get so good. And this is just a clear example. So I've been playing on controller for like the longest. I've been playing since Black Ops 2 days, but I've been playing controller Fortnite for like a year and a half. And these are probably as fast as I'm going to get. I mean, give or take. And once I switch to keyboard and mouse, as you see, I'm on keyboard and mouse. Look how easy. I've been playing keyboard and mouse for like 2 weeks, and I'm already faster at editing a single wall than I am on controller. And that's just because playing on keyboard and mouse is just so much easier through small movements. So that's just one thing to consider when it comes to editing. And when I back to my main point, well, the biggest advantage of controller is going to be that controller aim. So you really want to focus on your controller aim because you're only going to be able to get so good at building and editing. Of course, you're going to find an exception where someone's absolutely insane at building and editing on controller, but you guys get my point. It's just overall going to be a lot easier on keyboard and mouse to build and edit. So you want to focus on the advantages controller has, and the biggest advantage controller has is going to be aiming, and that's why I think Legacy Aim Assist is going to be the best move to use in Chapter 2. And with that being said, that's wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, turn on my post notifications so you guys are notified for every single new video, and alright guys, I'll see you next video.